All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something huge: how businesses can build real, successful partnerships with Indigenous communities. You know, when you get this right, the opportunities are just massive. But get it wrong? Well, the costs can be absolutely devastating.
So here's the big question, right? Why is it that some of these collaborations are incredible success stories, creating shared prosperity, while others just fall apart, ending in conflict and mistrust? It's not a simple answer, but by the end of this explainer, you're going to have a super clear blueprint for success.
Okay, let's get into it. Before we can even think about building a bridge between the business world and Indigenous communities, we have to get real about the chasm that so often separates them. And believe me, this divide is about way more than just different business goals. It runs deep.
To really get it, you have to look at the roots. We're talking about a history of colonial practices that led to dispossession and marginalization. And this isn't some ancient history lesson. It's created very real, modern barriers that limit access to resources and have fostered a deep and frankly well-earned mistrust. Then you add in cultural misunderstandings and damaging media stereotypes, and you can see why the ground is so shaky for building a partnership.
And look, the real-world consequences of ignoring all that history, they're severe. For businesses, we're talking about conflict that can shut down a project, serious damage to your reputation, and just massive missed opportunities. At the end of the day, ignoring the divide isn't just an ethical issue, it is simply bad business. So how do we actually start building that bridge? Well, it all begins with a rock-solid foundation. We're going to break down 3 essential pillars, drawn right from Indigenous worldviews, that are absolutely non-negotiable for any successful partnership. First up, we've got respect. And I'm not just talking about being polite here. True respect is about honoring the incredibly deep connections between relationships, traditions, and the land. It means understanding that what looks like a simple business decision on paper can actually have a massive ripple effect on a community's culture and sovereignty. Next up is reciprocity. Now, this one is a game changer because it's the total opposite of a transactional, what's in it for me approach. It's all about mutual benefit, about a shared responsibility. A reciprocal relationship is a true two-way street, where a company is just as committed to giving as it is to receiving. That's how you build real collaboration. And our third pillar is responsibility. This plugs right into the Indigenous value of stewardship, this powerful idea that we have a duty to care for the community and the environment, not just for today, but for all the generations to come. For a business, this means making social and environmental responsibility a core part of how you operate, not just an afterthought. Now, these pillars aren't just some nice, feel-good ideas. They actually build an incredibly powerful business case. When you operate with respect, reciprocity, and responsibility, you boost your reputation, you unlock brand new economic opportunities, and you get way, way better at managing risk. Plus, you get access to amazing innovation and traditional knowledge, and that's a real competitive advantage.
Okay, so we've got the why down, we understand the principles. Now, let's shift gears and get into the practical how. What are the actual concrete steps you can take to start building these bridges of trust? It really all starts at the top, with leadership. But we're talking about a different kind of leadership here. It's one that's based on humility, on recognizing that you don't have all the answers. It's about being genuinely willing to share power and decision-making. Honestly, without that mindset, any partnership is just built on sand. You know, when it comes down to it, every organization has a choice. You can go with the old transactional approach, short term, just trying to get consent, check a box, and impose a solution. Or you can build a true relational partnership. That means a long-term commitment, co-creating solutions, really listening, and making this engagement a core part of who you are as a company. So, how do you actually build that relational partnership? Here's a clear 4-step playbook. Step 1, research. Do your homework. Understand the specific history, culture, and governance of the communities you want to work with. Step 2, commit. This can't be a side project. It has to be part of your company's core mission. 3, train. Cultural competence is not optional. It's essential. And finally, step 4, communicate. Open up, transparent, two-way channels for real dialogue. And let's just zoom in on that communication piece for a second, because it is so critical. Effective communication isn't about talking, it's about active listening. It's hearing what's being said, and just as importantly, what's not being said. It's adapting your style, building genuine personal relationships, and being totally transparent and accountable. And you absolutely have to create real ways for the community to give you feedback, so their voice is always part of the conversation. So, You do all this hard work. You lay the foundation. You follow the blueprint. What does the future actually look like? What's waiting for us on the other side of that bridge we've been building?
And this is the ultimate mindset shift. The goal here isn't just to avoid problems or put out fires. That's playing defense. A genuine partnership is about playing offense. It's about moving forward together to unlock new shared value that neither of you could have ever created alone. So what does that shared value actually look like in the real world? Well, it's so much bigger than just profit. We're talking about shared prosperity, sustainable innovation, and real community empowerment. It boosts your company's reputation, and it can even contribute to the vital work of reconciliation. The benefits are huge, and they're powerful.
And if there is one thing I really want you to take away from all this, it's this. Building bridges isn't a project with a start and an end date. It is not a box you can just check off a list. It's a long-term commitment. It's a shared journey that a business and a community decide to take together, built on that constant practice of respect, reciprocity, and responsibility.
And that brings us to the end, and right back to you with a question. Based on everything we've covered, what is the very first tangible step, that first stone, that your organization can lay to start building its own bridge to a more collaborative, more prosperous future? The blueprint's right here. The rest is up to you.